We're approaching another lock. I've just put Robert off on the towpath right before the lock landing. The lock landing is where those white bollards are on the right. Robert will now walk up to the lock gate, use the windlass, and you'll hear him opening the first of the paddles. Now the paddle he's opening is letting water from the pound, that's where we are with the boat, between two locks, run around into the lock. Now he's going to walk over the top of the gate. That is very narrow there. And then he's going to open the other paddle on the other side. Now with that open, he can come back across because he's got to open the gate, but there's no rush. Everything is very slow and measured on the canals. But eventually he'll come across and then open the gate. Now I'm not tied up at all against the lock landing. I'm just bobbing around in the pound. It's an absolutely flat, calm day, and I can hold a better line to go straight into the lock from where I am rather than go to the landing. Now he'll lean on the gate and open it, and you can see how far I am away. I've been using the lens of the camera, but you can see how far I am away. And now as the gate opens, I'll start slowly moving forward. If I were on the landing, I'd have to come out at the front and get quite close to that boat there on the left, and it's much easier to stay off it if you just line up and go in on a calm day. Very slowly done, there's no rush. We're actually already just coasting, I believe. And you'll hear Robert there closing the paddle there. He can already close those, they're no longer doing anything. And wisely he's winding them down instead of letting them just go thunk. First of all, it's better for the paddles, and if you keep your fingers in the way, much better for your hands too. Now the paddle on the left, he can't reach without walking all the way round. So what will happen is as the boat stabilizes in the lock, I'll get off, walk back and drop that one for him. Once the boat's in, he'll close the door behind us, but it'll take a minute. Hey, Robert. Now the gates ahead of us, there's quite a drop the other side. This one's about 10 feet, I believe. Perhaps a little less. You can hear water running. That's the leaking water going through those gates ahead of us. I've just dropped the paddle. And Robert's now, and he's closed the gate. Now he's up opening the paddles on the gates themselves. Now you'll see the handle he's turning. He's pulling up a paddle in the middle of the gate that side, and it opens a door in the gate which lets water out of the lock. And you can see we've gone down quite a bit already. He'll now walk across the top of that gate to get to the paddle on the other side, and again you'll see that. And these paddles reach all the way to the bottom of the gates, or very close to the bottom of the gates. Mechanism there pulling the paddle up, and you can see from a long way away whether the paddles are up or down. Of course you're supposed to leave them all down, but often they get left up. Now the gate's ready to open. As soon as it's open, Robert will drop the paddle just so he doesn't forget, And then he's got the long walk all the way around the boat to get to the other side, to open the gate on the other side. Now at this point, it's difficult for anybody on the boat to get off to help him. And that's because the only way up would be up the ladder in the lock. And this isn't 10 feet or anything like. This one's about 5 feet or something like that, by the looks of it. There goes the other gate. Once it's open, we can slowly sail out. Robert will now close the paddle. He's reaching for his windlass there, I guess. And he's again going to wind the paddle down as he's lifted off the ratchet. He keeps it in his hand so that he knows to put it back on when he's finished. Now the gates have got to close behind us. Ordinarily you would go right out of the lock entrance here and tie up on the right hand side on that lock landing there. But what I'm going to do is poke the front out and just hold the back of the boat right at the bottom of that ramp. There's nothing coming, and he can step on and we can just go straight from the lock. You can see the gap in the lock doors. That will close up the moment there's water pushing against it. So that lock was more or less done in real time. That's how it works when you have an expert lock operator like Robert. He did a great job.